Alright, so the first time I started to do this portion of the game, I actually had the Turtle Beach headset muted, but I don't think we'll have a problem with that this time around, hopefully. Now, we just left Lower Depths, and we have Junebug and Johnny in tow. We're on the Zero. We just, we're on the horses part. Now, we're gonna pedal ourselves down to the Hall of the Mountain King, which, as I've said before, but you may not know this, is actually my favorite classical piece by Edvard Grieg. And it was also an amazing Atari video game, for those of you who remember the Atari, but it wasn't a hugely popular game. So now with Conway and his new leg, we're going to talk to the dog, as per usual. I'm not going to do much of an overview for the dog, but let's go talk to Johnny, shall we? Time to cut him loose, ma'am? You bored? Nah, it's a slow night anyway. I'm just happy tagging along. What's up with the bridge? Bridge ends abruptly, crumbling in disrepair. Up to the boardwalk then, shall we? At first, when I first did this scene, I thought that the pieces were coming together as we ran up, but I sort of get that it's coming into focus because of so much either smoke or fog. Anyway, a loop of decayed rope is coiled on the banister. Some rotted sections have been smoothed over with a fine dust. The first couple of episodes, or acts as they are putting them here, for Kategory Zero weren't, you know, knock your socks off entertaining. The first one was good, the second was a little slow. This third one's actually been really good. As we're going to find out, the third one has actually a lot more scenes to it. Broken computer monitors are heaped precariously among the rocks. As we head up here, we're going to run into a fairly long... Look at this pet carrier. Pet carrier for a cat or a small dog has been left by the path. A calcified rag wadded in the corner may have once been a blanket. Just a lot of stuff here that serves no longer a purpose. We're gonna walk up. Look at a backpack. I meet a few folks here in the Hall of the Mountain King. A hiking backpack leans against a rock. It's empty except for a dusty bag of cat food and a few punch cards. Let's look at the fire, shall we? A pile of discarded electronics burns steadily in the center of the chamber. Let's talk to Amy. Oh, it's triangles within triangles down here. Shifting, intersecting, overlaying. Isn't it romantic? Let's see. You're here to steal back the love of a boy you once knew when you were too young to recognize the movements of the heart. And you're escorting her, pretending to have her interests at heart, while really, you're in love with the young woman as well, and so you've agreed to help him conspire to win her affections, but it's just a ploy to set him up for embarrassment and diminishment him out of the picture. I'm into it. Well, maybe I still have the knack. I used to be really good at this. I had 11 novels published, from The Billionaire's Bidding to Fields of Longing. Real hot bodice ripping stuff, you know. I miss those days in my Lexington studio apartment, just me and my thesaurus steaming up the windows. Yeah, I'm not sure you should be listening to this kid. I'm not listening. But of course he couldn't last. You know, suddenly it was all computers everywhere you went. Thought I might be able to do something with that, inject a little libido into those ugly beige boxes, ha. So I went back to the university and I studied human-computer interaction, and then I picked up Donald's research assistantship here as a tester, debugging. In my off hours, I played around with the Doom love story at the core of our little simulation. That seemed to amuse Donald, so I kept at it. I'm afraid I tinkered too much, made it too complex. Now our work is never done. We don't even have to add any new functionality, the bugs just grow on their own. Too complex. I miss those days in my Lexington studio apartment. Let's talk to the old man. The old man, as we will come to find out, is Donald. Smoking moss out of a pipe. Donald puffs out a smoldering pipe, well, half mumbling, half singing an old country tune. Where the old green river runs, through hills and caves not known to us, down to that sunless sea. Oh, where are you? What's that song? Oh, you've caught a verse in my absent-minded warbling. It's just a song from my youth. Something a dear friend used to sing to herself as we hacked on crystal radios in the boiler room. In old Kentucky, where my love a lovely home did build for me, where the old green river runs through hills and caves not known to us, down to that sunless sea. From there on, it's all meandering rivers, romantic greenery, and that is what we're talking about. What's that computer over there? It looks pretty vintage. It looks like a harmless old computer, doesn't it? Like some beat-up mainframe exhumed from a university basement and left in this cave to rot. Or to flower. No, it's no ordinary computer. I've modified it extensively and in some pretty experimental ways, believe you me. That's to say nothing of the software, but... You look like a technically minded sort of person. Tell me, do you know the effects of mold growth on diffused base transistor circuitry? The mold would burn up. Exactly. Burns, and oh, the sweet smoke that issues from it. But it also leaves a sticky residue to seep through the machine, forming new connections and creating new circuits. The computer is no longer the pure domain of language or mathematics, but entropy. Thwarted and feeble, we hammer on this derelict keyboard. My name is Reason, King of Kings. But we are mere tourists in the ruins. Our keystrokes echo off into the tunnels, boundless and bare. The caves stretch far away. We are too late. Always too late. What? Did you say something? I'm just interested in the mold computer. The mold computer. Oh, XANADU. You've heard about it. Perhaps you've read about it in a journal? It's been years since I published anything. XANADU has evolved significantly since I explained its data structures in Literary Multitudes, Hypertextual Narrative as Post-Structural Witness. Evolved and then deteriorated. I'm afraid you're too late, fellow hypertext enthusiast. As the mold accumulated on the circuitry, XANADU blossomed for a moment into something holy and enchanted, and all the charm was broken. Do you have any idea what it's like to spend your life building something and then sit powerlessly as your work declines into ruin? I drive deliveries for a small antique shop and we're closing down. Shuffling around the dusty ghosts of antiquity. Well, I have my own ghosts, and I keep them in there, and XANADU. It's running on that glorious dusty machine. Take a look if you'd like. Too late to do anything but smoke and reminisce anyway. Far too late to do anything. Well, maybe we'll poke along and talk to Andrew first. He might have something to say about it. Do you know that when I first if this cave were larger, could it... Now I'm getting ahead of myself. I've got it. How would you characterize this space, the one we're standing in now? It seems endless. You have no idea how right you are. Decades of mapping and notating, but how can you tell? What formal quality makes it seem endless, you know? Huge fire, the smoke just disappears. Mysterious tremendum. It sends the shadows scattering, momentarily lights the mouths of unseen tunnels. That fire is constantly reshaping my... Close your eyes. Will you close your eyes? Only if you close yours. Okay, I can do it from memory. Good. Now, you're standing at the top of a rocky peak. A tongue of flame licks the shadowy anatomies of... Where are we? Oh, here again. How disappointing. What are all these computers for? Computers? Oh, now I remember. I was writing on them. I described a cave. That was my job. Describe the cave. There's a great history of caves in the literature. Don't you know? The walls are frozen rivers of orange stone. Isn't that vivid? I have a lot to live up to. I was a grad student studying statistics when I started working with Donald on his project. He said we needed someone with a more analytical mind to do the descriptive writing. Someone who would appreciate the cave descriptions as real labor instead of taking their authorial voice for granted. Donald warned me it would be long hours of typing painstakingly detailed descriptions into the computer. And I've put in the hours. Believe me, I've put in the hours. I've described every facet of this cave in such detail that sometimes I don't know if I'm reading or looking, writing or exploring. Often, in the dark and lonely moments, I worry that in my sleep I've transcribed rooms from my dreams into the system. How would we know? They can only be entered with precise, faithful detail. That's all I know how to write, and all I dream about is caves. I only dream of caves. Well, Andrew's got serious problems. Let's go and take a look at Xanadu. This weird troglodytic space that we've ended up in with plenty of scaffolding and burning stuff. Oh, wait. We missed Roberta. Hello, Roberta. The kingdom is in peril. She laughs. Well, what else is new? Well, where's the kingdom? You're in the throne room. There are 3 legendary treasures hidden throughout the castle that will restore these ruins to their former glory. Do you work here? Work. You could call it that. I gather old circuit boards and throw them in the fire. Sometimes I fish out precious metals and let them cool into toxic gems. I put them in my hair. Enchanted jewelry, talismans, a magic mirror that prevents the future, a magic shield that protects the bearer from age, a magic chest that's always filled with... I never went to the university. I was an independent scholar. It means I took to the public libraries like a beachcomber. I studied fairy tales. Then I came to work for Donald. I paid the bills, rubbed leathering elbows with academics, scraped black mold from cave walls. Finally, now I carry the firewood into senescence. The kingdom is in peril. Clearly. Let's play with Xanadu. The computer to end all computers. Not as great as Deep Thought from Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, perhaps, but it has its own charm. How do you think we'll get it started? This whole thing, maybe there's a hand crank around. Oh, it has a run key. Yes. The mildly annoying Xanadu, which makes its bleeps and bloops and other annoying noises. Scene 5. Scene 5 of, like, 15 in this act. We're gonna end up stopping after we play with Xanadu for a bit, but let's do that. Denavardo. Scene 6. Lovely scene, wasn't it? Bizarre. What was that about Lula? Maybe Donald knows how to clear it up a bit. So we're gonna go talk to Donald, right? He's gonna tell us where we have to go, and that's where we'll end this episode. But before we end the episode, let's talk to Donald. We're getting there. Round and round and round we go. Where we stop? Donald. So, you've seen it for yourself. What's left of it? Is that the end? Chalky bones of a beautiful dream. But you can see what it once was, can't you? Can't you? There's so much more to it. Ornate labyrinths of memory. Exhaustively simulated parallel cave ecosystems. Real artificial intelligence built on sophisticated neural network algorithms. The birds in the forest could flock in 3 dimensions. The bats could learn to sing. And then it began to crumble when the strangers came. At first we only heard them, walking heavily through the caves, dragging things around, hammering and clattering their tools. Sometimes we heard working songs, never close enough to make out real voices, just their echoes cascading wordless into the tunnels. Then we caught a glimpse of one. What did they look like? They look like... No, it's too horrible. I shouldn't be telling you about this. They're dangerous. They're strange. I should never have tried to outwit them. They were always too much for me. But it's too late now. If I'd listened to Lula, Ooh, Lula Chamberlain? Yes, of course. Oh, do you know her? We're looking for her now. No, she's gone now. She left. We built this together, did you know? Lula Joseph and I. Lula's gone from here, but still in there, in XANADU. I don't know where Lula is now, or how to get there from here, or how to unwind that damn tangled highway, but XANADU, before its ruin, was faultless as an oracle, a shrine to perfect simulation, until... maybe? Those weird interlopers destroyed my XANADU. Perhaps they know how to fix it. May be dangerous. I've spent many eager seconds to negotiate with them to repair my masterpiece. Back there, that tunnel. Push back the vines. Crawl out into the darkness. Watch your step. After a while, you'll feel the terrain change beneath your hands and knees from rock to crystal and then to mud. Then you'll be out. That's where the strangers come from. Now leave me alone. I still have a bit of old mold in my pipe and a few dreams left. And this is where we'll leave this episode. Scene 7. Where the strangers come from.